Insatiable, John, what did you think of his win at Happy Valley last time?
It was a very sound win. First up 1800, I thought it was a very strong effort. I'm looking for him to improve. He's only on 97 at the moment, but it wouldn't surprise me if he went higher. He seems in very good health, and I think he's going extremely well.
Last time he raced at Sha Tin, he was beaten by Glorious Forever. They broke the track record that day. Is he the one to beat?
Well, you'd think so. I mean, anyone that runs a track record is going to be hard to beat. So from what I can understand, he looks like a pretty strong horse, and he'd be probably the favourite in the race.
And PRAWN Barbar, John, first up for the season, what are you expecting from him?
He's on a pretty high rating now for him, 105. He's won 3 races last season, and I think he's done his best. But he might find a race this season, he might not, so it just depends how his handicap goes and how he can be placed.
And a good night at the office Thursday night. Are you happy with the stable's form heading into the weekend?
Yeah, the horses are in good shape. We're starting to get a few runners now, and they're looking good, so I'm hopeful that we can win a couple of races.
Paul, Ruley went around as a 20-to-1 shot first up. Were you happy with the way he finished off that race?
Yeah, considering it was 1400 metres, he raced very well, and the step up to a mile will be a positive for him. He might want a little bit further before he's winning again, but I'd expect him to race well again.
How's he come through that run?
Yeah, he's come through it fine. He's going to have 3 weeks between races, which is just ideal for him. And I think he could figure in the placings anyway.
Well, his wins have been over 1800 and 2200 metres. When you say he'll be winning perhaps over further, are they the distances that are perfect for him?
I think the 1800 is probably the best distance for him. He just struggles a little bit over further. He just doesn't switch off and race kindly. So the 1800 should be ideal, and there'll be a few of them coming up.
You've had the 1 win for this season so far, but fewer runners than any other trainer here in Hong Kong. Is the stable starting to get going now, do you think?
Yeah, that'll change very shortly. You've got a lot of horses that are ready to race. You give it another 2 or 3 weeks, we should be very busy. So it's a long season.
Seems okay. I think, fitness-wise, he'll improve a little bit for having the race. But he's healthy and well, he's in good order. And, his work's been sound, so I think he should improve slightly.
You look at, say, last season when he went from Class 3 to Group 1 in the one season, big effort. Is there more progression and improvement to come, do you think?
Well, usually when they turn 5 in Hong Kong, they make a little bit more incremental improvement. So I'm hoping that at least he'd hold his form. After winning a Group 1 race at level weights, you're not looking for improvement from that point on. That's probably about as good as it gets, So I think he's already done that. So if he can just come back and repeat his best run, that'll stand him in good stead if he does that throughout the season.
And what about Hot King PRAWN? Are you happy with what he's shown you in the last couple of weeks since his first up run?
Seems all right. He's a year younger, but the same thing applies. They make some improvement for being, now that he's turned 4 instead of 3. He's furnished a little bit, he looks a little bit stronger, and he's been a specialist down the straight course actually, but he has won 1200 at Happy Valley, so I'm hoping that he can do the same as Sha Tin.
Who does this race favour more compared to last time, when obviously Hot King PRAWN at the better of the weights? IVICTORY meets him slightly better off this time, and they both step up to 1200, both with a run under their belt? Well,
the 2 factors that are quite obvious is that the Hot King PRAWN was a specialist down the straight. He'd done a lot down the straight already, and he had a big advantage in the weights. He still has a weight advantage, but IVICTORY's done most of his racing 1200 round a bend, so I think again there's not going to be much between them.
Just speaking of much between horses here, you won this race last year with Mr. Stunning. He's only taken on IVICTORY once. IVICTORY beat him. From your knowledge of these 2 horses, how much is there between those 2?
We've got a team of sprinters in Hong Kong at the top level that there's not much between. They're all on the same rating. They're all rated 128, and they run very consistently. So last season, I think that there was 4 or 5 individual winners throughout the group races throughout the year. So you might expect the same thing again this year.
I think he was just a little bit impatient inside the gate the last time. They put him a little bit early, so of course it was a big field, and he just missed it because he was a little bit impatient. Nothing else, but he worked his way through them, and I was pretty impressed the way he pulled me all the way through the line.
He's a horse who's well known for his quirks. In those trials, do you feel like you've got to learn what he's like?
To be honest, even the first time I rode him, if you don't know he do things like this before, you will not even say he's got problem, because of course it's what happened in the past, and of course I'm pretty sure the connection and Tony, they all put this behind now and look for something better. But I'm not thinking about those negative things. Gonna ride him like a normal horse, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna let down in a straight.
You take on Beauty Generation, champion miler, horse of the year, your first up over 1600 metres. Can you beat him?
Of course, after his win now, he goes a few more pounds. He carries a few more pounds more than me, but you know, he's a very good horse, Beauty Generation, and in that field, if he gets his own way in front again, he's a very difficult horse to run down. So it's a very tricky field because it doesn't look like there will be much can take him on. So you know, it really depends on like which horse can really take him on, and in this way we will be able to run him down. If he has his own way in front, there will be no possibility for much horses to take him in front. Yeah.